Rastogi, Maharashtra State Vice Chairperson, Confederation of Indian Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, welcoming you and our viewers to the interview series of Brand India, Women in Business. This is for all our viewers. Do join us for the Global Women in Trade Summit 2021 from the 5th to the 8th of March. You can also nominate for the exhibition at zero cost. Get access to loan by SBI, SIDBI, access to national global markets. Nominate for Brand India Awards 2021. We bring the series of broadcast as a flagship initiative by Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade. We have a strong belief in the mission articulated by our founder and director, Mr. Santosh Ganesh, which is to empower, collaborate, innovate, and stand together as true human beings and not miss the human touch. My name is Kusum Kanwar, and I'm the State President, Women Entrepreneur Enterprise, Global Ambassador for Diversity and Inclusion and Education for Girl Child, Global Council for Promotion of International Trade, an educationist for over 30 years, Managing Director, KK Kids Learning Systems, founder and CEO at Skills, former principal, Billabong High Schools, Millard and Santa Cruz. It's a pleasure again to introduce Ms. Manisha Rastogi, a visionary, a motivator. Manisha first brings to the table a positive air of belief in business goals. This, coupled with her assertiveness and proactive nature, sets the wheels moving. A meticulous planner, she works out every detail. Quoting Manisha herself, she's a weird mix of persistence and impatience that keeps her restless until she says, "My targets are a reality." MMS in marketing, Manisha had a 10-year stint at Matsushita, that's Electric Works, and SIFI, where she gained experience in creating and conceptualizing innovative BTL activities. Manisha conceptualized Bridging Gaps in 2010 with the aim of transforming the way businesses sell. A firm believer of implementation is the key to success. Manisha has consulted and mentored 120 MSMEs through sales excellence workshops and 14 SMEs through sales review and mentoring mechanism. Phew, now coming to Manisha herself, what is unique about your business concept and how did you perceive it?
Wow, wow. Thank you, Kusum. This was brilliant. And I'm extremely thankful for this opportunity that I'm getting at this brilliant platform of CIMSME under Brand India. So yes, answering Kusum. Essentially bridging gaps happened in 2010. And so this is not something which was there at the back of the mind that, okay, this is how I'm going to start my business and start my sales and coaching and consulting. It happened because I was approached by the Matsushita Electric Works that you just spoke about. So our distributor of Matsushita was the one who came up to me and said that, Manisha, we have a sales team and we know the way you worked. So why don't you come over and figure out where are the gaps in our sales process, in our sales strategy? And if I can be really candid, Kusum, the line, the line bridging gaps came in when I was writing my email to him that, Mr. Himang, these are going to be my deliverables, and I hope this is the way we will be able to bridge the gap for your company. So yeah, so this is how we started back in 2010.
Wonderful. And anything that's unique about you?
So our uniqueness is our the way we follow up,
Right.
kind of connect that we have with the end user. So what we are able to get onto the table for any business owner is how would the consumer think? How is the consumer gonna react? How is the consumer going to get onto the table? And last and foremost, we have this never give up attitude. So there is a lot of resilience in the way we work because we know that when it comes to sales and business, you have to keep trying and you have to be at it. So this is our.
Yeah, and how well we know that you never give up. Oh, that's fantastic. How are your teams an extension of your values and skills?
So okay, so the way our team is an extension of what we do, because you know what, there are these two factors when we are searching for people to be with us. One is that there has to be an attitude to learn, and there has to be a hunger to perform. In fact, these are the two key factors which we even tell our clients, like, when they are getting their teams in place and if we are part of their entire recruitment process, we don't look at the qualification. We look at the hunger and the attitude. So this is how we will select.
Superb, superb. So, how do you describe important aspects, of loyalty, say, respect, empathy, to being a great leader to succeed as business owners?
So I feel, when it comes to great leadership, it is not, so leadership cannot be commanded, you know, and according to me, the single most factor for a great leader is to lead by example. Because if he or she is doing that, if he or she is doing that, that is where they are able to actually take the team forward. They are able to, number one, they are able to show to people as to how things are done. And when they do it in their way, they are also able to accept the challenge that, boss, I have done it. I'm showing it to you how how you should be doing it. And that's the way to carry it forward. So I feel leading by example is a very key factor to earn loyalty, respect, and empathy from everyone around.
Profound, fantastic. So, would you like to share some break moments for your business in the pandemic of 2020, and what you learned, and so how what can we learn from it?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, in fact, if I may say so, pandemic was like was a boon and a curse put together. So, all this while, our work was around retainer clients, which means you have a setup, you have a business owner, you have the sales team, and we would work on a retainer model with them. Okay, reviewing their sales teams. But because of the pandemic, there was lockdown, markets were not opening up, so there was a roadblock. Now, what happened during this time is our entire experience of sales review and monitoring mechanism is what we put into a sales excellence workshop. These workshops were catered to solopreneurs, people who did not have a sales team, people who have the time and passion, but just did not know how to go about it. So, our own learning was that it's a complete mistake to be dependent on just one portfolio or a few clients. It always has to be a balance. There has to be a balance of for example, for us, we created the balance of having retainer clients and having our workshop clients, wherein where the 120 SMEs that we are talking about. Believe me, Kusum, all of that has happened in that 1 year of pandemic. So yeah. Uh,
Yeah, I said fantastic. And where was I? So you say this business chose you. How did that happen?
uh, I mean, no, I know that we can't have like an entire long story, sob story happening out here. But so I'm a BCom, I'm a commerce graduate, and my mom back then had thought that, bhai, family mein CA to hona chahiye, because my dad was extremely good in maths. So even I thought, okay, chalo, we will go ahead with this. And back then, Kusum, I could not even clear the entrance exam of CA. So it was ki, bhai, I mean, this is not what you are, this is not what you're cut out for. And I landed into a marketing profile. I did my MBA and then I landed into a marketing profile. And in those first 10 years of my corporate experience, where, I was able to dirty my hands in sales at a ground level. So when the consulting assignments came, they actually chose me because they knew that, okay, this woman has done work as as a promoter, coming from a promoter and leaving the corporate at a national at a national responsibility was something which was a great experience which I could give onto my consulting assignments. So this is how it was like a 360-degree thing happening to me. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
how.
So, for our listeners, yes, it can happen to anyone. It's happened to Manisha. It's happened to me. I could not, clear my entrance exam for for medical, you can say twice, and then finally,
Right.
I thought that this was a great place to be in as a teacher, and so here I am. So, Manisha, going to the next question, to be able to connect to your end user, you require an excellent combination of a gender balance, right? So, your thoughts on having a more diverse workplace and benefits of the same.
So, see, according to me, like the way I said, we at Bridging Gaps, we try and keep the end user in mind, right? Now, who is the end user? The end user is a human being. In order for one human being to understand another human being, it is so important to have the balance of how a man would think and how a woman would think. There are yes, I agree, there are a lot of conditioning factors which we have, that women are multitaskers, men are focused, and a woman can do, like, I don't know, 20 things at the same time, but then for a man, if you give him that sales target, he will just get onto it. But even with this conditioning, it's important how we are able to connect to the end user of any brand, for any brand for that matter. So according to me, if any business needs to have a great strategy, you have to think from both the angles, from how a man would think and from how a woman would think.
Fantastic. So that's how you need a diverse work place and also gender balance. Fantastic. So perfection is a myth, you say. So tips and advice for startups that would what would it be? I mean, to perfect yourself, or what do you go about doing?
Yeah. So the only reason I say that perfection is a myth, because what happens is, the brain actually tricks you to thinking, don't do this till the time you're perfect. Don't launch a particular service till the time it's perfect. Don't get that product onto the shelf till the time it's perfect. And yes, perfection is important as an aspiration. But the minute you figure out ki it is becoming it's just becoming a game in which you're getting trapped, is where we feel that it's a myth. At times, even doing 80% of what you think is perfect is also important to get onto the table.
Right.
So to me, perfection is something which will come out of it will come out of repetition and evolution.
Hmm.
Once you have it on the table, once it starts going onto the market, it will evolve. You will reach the perfection, angle which you have in your head. But it's impossible for it to happen in the first go. And a lot of us think that, we hold ourselves back, thinking that no, till the time I don't have each and every attribute in place, I am just going to sit back.
Right. Right. So, would it be right, for me to say, because I'm reminded of a quote each day by Sheryl Sandberg saying, "You'll be defined not by just what you achieve, but by how you survive."
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely.
So most of us are in this phase actually, nowadays. So I think that's why it's coming back to me all the time. How do endorsements help build credibility quickly, Manisha?
Endorsements help a lot, Kusum. Absolutely. Matlab, so sorry. So if I have to give example of our own business of bridging gaps, you would rarely find, of whatever whatever that you have known of us, you would rarely find we coming up with a ad, or for our either for our retainer workshops, or even for the sales excellence. The only reason being, because it is one person who has had a great experience with us. When he or she, endorse what we do, we know that we are getting the 10 other people in his or her network. So endorsement, not necessarily it always has to be a celebrity in place. People like you and me are the ones who actually build up small, SME brands, because we are the ones who don't have those deep pockets for, some hardcore advertising. But for us, even if 100 people, 200 people start talking about our business and our contribution, man, I mean, we are really talking a lot.
Absolutely. Yes. And what tips can you list for business aimed, at minimal cash flow? Any strategies that you have applied, even during these times or otherwise? Minimal cash flow.
So when we are talking about minimal cash flow out, it's important to know where is the strength of your product or service? So, for example, when it comes to bridging gaps, our strength is our experience, our intelligence. I don't need to have an office to showcase my intelligence, correct? So I have to be frugal there. I have to look at what is more important. For me, the way we balanced our cash flow was we invested a good deal in getting a digital marketeer for us rather than getting an office space and having that expenditure. But at the same time, say for example, for someone like you who is an educator, you will need to have a physical premise where you are able to showcase to the parents as to how the child is going to be in that environment. So it's always important that depending on the business, what is the strength of the business, and accordingly one has to allocate around 30 to 35% for a good cash flow to be in place.
Right, fantastic. So, bridging gaps is self-funded business.
Yes.
So, what are the? But you definitely can give us, tips on business loans where MSME women entrepreneurs have options to go for.
Absolutely, absolutely. See, even for whether, okay, when it comes to having your own business plan in place, having your valuation in place, is where applying for loans becomes a lot more easy. Any investor, any angel investor, the only thing he or she wants to see is how am I going to benefit from the money that I put into your venture. So if I'm able to see that, if I'm able to see that in your business plan, yes, there is, I mean, it's why should it always be that one has to keep thinking, okay, after 5 years or 10 years, if I've reached to a certain scale, then I will think of getting investors on board.
All
uh,
right.
yeah, I mean, according to me, an excellent business plan
Hmm.
can in fact have capital ventures coming in the first year itself.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I know that that's a great tip for me also. It's a great takeaway for me. So, does creating quadrants, because this I found very interesting, in what you wrote,
Hmm.
quadrants, structures, and timetable ensure you can balance work and life responsibilities.
Absolutely, Kusum. So me, we are a nuclear family. That is me, my husband, and we have two beautiful children. Now, having said that, if Bridging Gaps is the team which is going to run or going to sort of execute the sales aspect of a small entrepreneur and a mid-sized entrepreneur, we ourselves need to have a great amount of discipline and structure for us. So in time management, I will just take a second to explain this. In time management, there is a quadrant two, wherein the tasks are important but not urgent. So every week, Mondays, 10 to 12 is the time for bridging gaps to figure out which are the important development tasks which we need to roll out for ourselves. The balance 5.5 days is where we are actually working on the client. 10 to 12 is the time when we work on our on us as if we are our own client. And this is, believe me, this is a miss. This is something which happens with most businesses. We are so hung up in trying to get everything right for our client, our customer, our prospect. We don't look at our own business as a client. So having this sort of timetable, having this sort of structure, I mean, in our house, my youngest, my 7-year-old, so even he has roles and responsibilities out for him, that he has to fill bottles, he has to do this, because I mean that's the only way we will be able to educate our children on the importance of time management.
Wow, superb. What a takeaway. Ladies, if you're listening to this, and also that's so profound when you're saying that, we don't look at our own selves. So when we are so caught up and hung up in looking after others' businesses, wow. What inspiration do you draw from your immediate and extended families? This is important because, very often we don't take inspiration from our immediate families
Right,
and
right,
extended families as well. We look for inspiration outside most of the times.
right, right. So okay, So I'm a Rastogi, which means I'm essentially from Uttar Pradesh, from UP. Okay. And right from my grandfather till my dad, everyone whom I know in my family has always been in service and has been in LIC. Okay. Now imagine you have your granddad who calls you every now and he asks you, okay, Manisha, how are you doing? How many clients do you have? What has been your business? What has been your business turnover? Every 3 months, huh? Every three months. So it's not like he was a MD of the company. Okay, my Babaji is what we call him. My grandfather. He was not an MD. He was just a simple person working in LIC. Okay, but he knew it from back then that there has to be value to everything that we do. Okay, if I'm putting myself onto the table, giving my experience, my intelligence, my brain work, it has to come back in some sort of remuneration. So if I respect money, I will get the respect back as well. Now this is just one thing of my granddad. Okay, according to me, there is inspiration which comes from every family member, whether it's my mom, my dad, my spouse, my kids, my in-laws. Because if you look at the larger picture, all these people and whatever that they think is what makes you, what you are today. So I have this thing of trying to take as much as possible from my immediate family, friends, and obviously from a lot of people from the industry.
Super. How reflective, and don't we all benefit like that? Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. That's such a great value to pick up from you. How has been with the confederation, with the council helped you?
In fact, okay. So I have to confess here. All this while I was working, and even when we started our consulting venture, so we were dealing with the entrepreneurs who were wanting to scale up, or who wanted to reach to a certain level. CIMSME has been one platform where I'm able to meet established guys, where people have reached maybe in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years of great experience. And when you are interacting with such council members, there is so much of takeaway. I mean, I'm sure you will agree, even when we started with our weekly meetings back then and even now, every meeting there is a takeaway. Every meeting there is something or the other of some council member who is talking about her or his experience. So to me, CIMSME is a platform where I'm really able to meet fantastic like-minded people and actually get more knowledge from each of us.
Wow, fantastic. Yes, I resonate so much with you on that. Um, Tips and pointers, and how will you empower other women startups?
Wow. So the only thing that I would want to say to a woman: don't think, don't overthink, just do it, just jump. You know, once you jump, if you look at us, uh, nobody taught us how a marriage is going to be. Yeah, and the only reason I'm talking about marriage, because to an Indian woman, to Indian family, marriage is the constitution. Okay, family is something which we are so completely into it, right? So nobody gave us nobody gave us a diploma on how a marriage is going to be, on how you're going to balance relationships. We jumped, right? We jumped and we went ahead. It's the same thing when it comes to your own venture, to your own business. The only thing that you need to do is treat it like your child. When you look at it that way, solutions will happen. Problems will cease to go away. But just jump.
Super. That's really profound. Just jump. Wow. So, I was talking to another council member the other day, and we spoke about, life doesn't come with a manual.
Right.
So it comes with a mother. So
Right.
so it's very similar, like in the Indian context, that we are talking about marriage, and it's all about
Yeah.
mothers as well. So Manisha, let's have some rapid fire fun here now. Yeah, so we're ready. So what's for
Yes.
dinner tonight?
Oh my God. Really? Okay. So it's going to be it's a combination of chicken and pav bhaji made by mom and
Okay.
yeah, parathe.
All right, great. So quickly, are women complicated?
Very,
All right.
very.
Name one of the seven dwarfs. One,
Don't
at
I
least
just
one.
don't know. Oh shit.
So I think you must go and ask a 7-year-old.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, go and find out. I won't tell you. What do you prefer, to cook or clean?
Clean.
Okay.
I'm a crazy OCD person. Clean. Absolutely clean.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes. So that's, thank you so much. I hope you had fun. I had a lot of fun with you, Manisha. And thank you, Manisha Rastogi, who says, I'm at peace with myself. I'm able to see when she sees inspiration in all those other spheres. The family has created quadrants wherein not only she, however, the full family is able to balance out, their work and more importantly, time for self-development. So, ladies, listen in again. We have so many takeaways from this tremendously detailed, systematic live wire and a go-getter. Miss Manisha Rastogi, leading by example and earning loyalty and respect in her journey. Each experience has made her what she is today. She believes perfection is a myth. The important part is to start and to be at it. Things will eventually, evolve and join us actually for many more such stories and entrepreneurial journeys shared by women leaders on this global platform. Many takeaways and a very real prudence from Miss Manisha. So leaving with a thought from Steve, a case that I truly believe in, you shouldn't focus on why you can't do something, which is what most people do. You should focus on why perhaps you can and be one of the exceptions. So thank you and namaste everyone. Until we meet again with our next powerful interview series of Brand India Women in Business, a flagship initiative by Global Council promoting international trade and Confederation of Indian Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Do join us for the Global Women in Trade Summit 2021 from March 5th to 8th and nominate your exhibition at zero cost. Get access to national global markets. Nominate for Brand India Awards 2021. Thank you very much.